Namaste, and welcome to 10 Minutes with Dr. Marc Halpern. I'm Dr. Marc Halpern, and I'm honored to share this sacred time with you. Today I want to talk about 3 misconceptions in Ayurveda. When people hear the word Ayurveda, they think of a few things. And sometimes what they think of is not actually entirely correct. So let's see if I can break this down for you a little further. The first misconception that I want to talk about is that Ayurveda is from India. Now I know that Ayurveda and the knowledge of Ayurveda originated in what we call India today. So of course, Ayurveda has its roots deep in the Indian soil. When I say that Ayurveda is not from India, what I mean is that Ayurveda predates India altogether. Ayurveda is from the earth and a region of this world. It has no borders. This is also what I mean. Ayurveda is not limited by the boundaries of a country. Ayurveda is a set of universal truths that apply to human beings everywhere in the world. Ayurveda is, in fact, a set of principles that go even beyond the human being, because through the knowledge of Ayurveda, we understand all of nature. Ayurveda is a science of nature. And wherever there is nature, the knowledge of Ayurveda is present. So I believe that the ancient rishis of India would smile inside a knowing smile when somebody says, oh, Ayurveda belongs to or originates in a region of this planet. No. We do need to honor and show the deepest reverence and the deepest respect for the ancient teachers of India. And we do this because they were the ones who were gifted with this universal knowledge. This universal knowledge is said to come ultimately from God through the rishis, Bharadwaj, and then was disseminated to additional rishis who then began to disseminate it all around the region that today we call India. But in fact, it spread out of India because the rishis continued to spread away. They went into China, and they went into Afghanistan, and they went into Turkey, and they went ultimately all around the world. That knowledge is still spreading today all around the world. Ayurveda is clothed in Indian mystery. It's clothed in Indian language. It's clothed in the Sanskrit language. To fully understand Ayurveda, it's important to understand India's customs, India's culture, India's language of Sanskrit. It's very, very important to do this. And it's truly important to show the respect to where it originated. But just because something originated in a place doesn't mean it belongs to that place. Any more than the things that originate in the United States should only belong to the United States. Or those things that belong or that originated in China should remain only in China. The borders of countries are randomly decided. They change through all of time. Even India today was not India before the mid-1900s, but rather a multitude of states. This is true of our entire world. Ayurveda is universal, and that's the misunderstanding that I want to be correcting today. It is not regional. It is universal, and it applies just as much here in the United States or Canada or Brazil or South America, anywhere, South Africa, Australia, China, or Japan. It applies everywhere, and every part of the world needs this important knowledge because it's the knowledge of harmony. And with it, we can live healthfully and harmoniously, and without it, we're going to suffer from disease and disharmony. The second misunderstanding or misconception that I want to correct is that there is such a thing as an Ayurvedic herb or an Ayurvedic food. This is a misunderstanding, and it's actually related to the first misconception. You see, when people think of what an Ayurvedic food is, they might think of khichdi, and an Ayurvedic herb, they might think of ashwagandha. But this Ayurvedic herb is not really Ayurvedic. It's an Indian herb. And this food, khichdi, is not really Ayurvedic. It's Indian food. What is it then that makes something Ayurvedic? According to the Charaka Samhita, the ancient text in Ayurvedic medicine, there are 3 things that are necessary to know for something to be Ayurvedic. You must know the nature of the patient. This is their constitution. The word for that is prakriti. You must know the nature of the imbalance. The word for that is vikruti. And it's the disturbance in the flow of the 3 doshas. And then you must know the nature of the medicine. When you know the nature of the medicine and it's matched up to the nature of the patient and the nature of the imbalance, then and only then does the medicine, or for that matter, the food, become Ayurvedic. Ayurveda is a paradigm for understanding how to utilize the tools of nature properly. It's not regionally based. So for instance, if I said to you, is pasta Ayurvedic? You would say, no, it's Italian. But that's a misunderstanding, because what's Ayurvedic has nothing to do with regions of the world. Pasta is Ayurvedic. So believe it or not, is pizza. Now, I understand that it's not necessarily healthy, but I say that really for the reaction. And what I mean by it is that for the right person at the right time, it is Ayurvedic. It could match their prakriti, their constitution, and it could match the vikruti, the imbalance that's present. And when it's matched up properly, it's going to bring about healing to that person. And it could be the most important medicine. In fact, Ayurveda teaches that a poison used properly is medicine, and a medicine used improperly is a poison. When anything is used properly, it's being used according to Ayurvedic principles. So to a starving person, some pasta or pizza might save their life. It's a medicine for them. Now, once they start recovering, it might not be the best food for them, but it could be used as a medicine. So the first misconception today was that Ayurveda is inherently Indian. It comes from India, but it belongs to nature. The second misconception is that there's such a thing as an Ayurvedic food or an Ayurvedic herb. In fact, all foods and all herbs all over the world can be used Ayurvedically if you understand the nature of the person, the nature of the disease, and the nature of the medicine. The last thing that I want to, last misconception that I'd like to dispel today is that because you know your constitution, you know what your diet should be. In fact, you have a constitution called your prakriti that was determined at the moment of conception. But you also have a current state of your doshas, which is called your vikruti. And that's usually the state of imbalance within you. Understanding the vikruti, or the current state of doshas, is the most important thing to know in order to live your life in a way that is going to re-establish balance. Knowing your vikruti is what's most important for understanding what foods to eat, because it tells you which dosha is out of balance. You could have a pitta constitution and a vata imbalance. You can have a pitta constitution and a kapha imbalance. We must know the imbalance, and that's called the vikruti. With that knowledge, along with the knowledge of prakriti, we can choose the right foods, we can choose the right lifestyle that's going to return us to balance. So today we dispelled 3 myths. The first one, that Ayurveda is inherently Indian. It originates in India, but it belongs to all of nature. The second is that there's such a thing as an Ayurvedic herb or an Ayurvedic food. There's not. It only becomes Ayurvedic when it's used properly. And that applies to every food and every herb all around the world. And the third is that your Prakriti is most important to know for knowing how to live your life and how to and what diet you should eat. In fact, more important is understanding the nature of the imbalance that's your Vikruti. So see an Ayurvedic practitioner and get a full evaluation. Learn your Prakriti, your constitution. Learn your Vikruti, your current state of imbalance. And then your practitioner and you can work out the best diet, the best lifestyle, the best herbs that are going to support you to return to health and to return to harmony. Many blessings to you on your continuing journey toward optimum health and peace of mind. Namaste.